All right, good day, dear listeners. Thank you for joining me on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted political talk show. Today is the 28th of May, about 24 hours to Democracy Day, and I'm trying to imagine what this geographical space called Nigeria would have looked like if it was actually a country, if we actually had a democracy. Activist Dele Farotimi keeps saying that Nigerians are not free-born citizens, and many have argued with him. But as much as we want to convince ourselves that we are free-born citizens, the prevailing events disagree with that assertion. If we were free-born citizens, 3 to 5 men wouldn't have been able to even conceive the thoughts, let alone carry out what Tinubu, Akpabio, Wale Edun and Yemi Cardoso have done in the last 24 months in this space. It would appear that Dele Farotimi is right. We are not free-born citizens as it stands. In all my days of reporting, I don't think I have reported a sadder event than what we are about to unravel in this video. Tinubu just made a single move that will completely change the economic direction of this country. He has already emptied the nation's treasury. What he is doing now is to ensure that the country does not even recover even after he leaves office. When Tinubu paid the IMF loan $3.4 billion, I refused to celebrate it for many reasons. One of the reasons I gave was that I knew that he would still borrow something much bigger than the little that he repaid. And few hours ago, Tinubu shocked Nigerians by submitting a letter of intent to borrow. How much? The biggest ever loan in Nigeria's history. Now, listen carefully as I read the loans out. $21.5 billion, 2.2 billion euros, 15 billion Japanese yen, and 65 million euros, all amounting to 40 trillion naira, not million, not billion, 40 trillion. That's like the entire budget that Buhari used in 8 years. What a disaster. And concurrently, Remi Tinubu recorded backlash after her stand against bullying on Children's Day. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
The scorecard of President Tinubu and APC government for 2 years, I mean, it's predictable if anybody, based on my even previous writing. Nothing has changed from almost 2 months after the coming of Asuwaju, when I saw the wrong step. You remember one of the first open letter I wrote to him was disturbing signals, raising alarm about how he is getting it wrong. And subsequently, I made the point that renewed hope had become renewed anger, so much so that people are agitated all over the place, and being an insider, I was there and I have read the Renew Hope document. I campaign on the basis of it. I can say I'm well informed in terms of the content of the Renew Hope promises we have made. Nothing has come close so far to delivering on what we promised Nigerians, which is the disappointing part in terms of my assessment of President Asuwaju.
Okay.
I had very high rating of President Asuwaju, but to be honest, his performance in the last 2 years has betrayed whatever expectation I had of him.
Okay.
You heard that. Former national vice chairman of the APC, Salisu Lukman, there, calling a spade a spade. And whenever people speak to facts about Tinubu's failure in his 2 years, the sycophants will quickly say it is because he has not given an appointment. It is because that person did not get any appointment. How about Hakim Baba Ahmed, who was given a very big appointment but resigned and is now speaking against Tinubu and wants him out of office? How about the poor man on the streets of southern Nigeria who regrets enduring mockery and ignoring wise counsels to vote Tinubu? Is he also regretting because he didn't get appointments? No. Tinubu's failure has reached unprecedented levels, and no one with a conscience would back the present calamity that is unfolding in this country under this regime. We live in a country where monies that can build refineries was spent on rehabilitating refineries and none of them is working. 11.35 trillion put into rehabilitating our refineries, yet all of them are grounded. And Nigerians are watching. No reaction. Senate came up and said they wanted to probe. Now everything has been swept under the carpet because they all shared the money together. What a disaster. If Nigeria does not end the APC will end Nigeria. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that update from Remi Tinubu condemning bullying in Nigeria. And Nigerians responded by saying, Madam, your husband is the chief bully, so go and talk to him first. And next is the horrible news of another outrageous loan. Tinubu set to completely destroy the economy with the worst set of loans in Nigeria's history. Let's start by taking that update from Remi Tinubu. Look at how the papers reported it. Children's Day. Take a stand against bullying. Remi Tinubu urges Nigerians. As Nigeria commemorates Children's Day 2025, Senator Remi Tinubu has called on citizens to take an active stand against bullying, describing it as a threat to the emotional and academic well-being of children. In her goodwill message on Tuesday, Remi Tinubu said this year's theme, Stand Up, Building a Bullying-Free Generation, reflects a collective responsibility to nurture and protect the nation's children who represent the future of Nigeria. She appealed to Nigerians to be intentional in promoting kindness, empathy, and leadership by example. As a mother, I call on all Nigerians to take an active stand against bullying. Let us teach our children that strength lies in compassion and that true leadership begins with looking out for one another. As we mark this year's Children's Day, I extend my warmest wishes and love to every child across our great nation. She said, every child deserves to grow up in an environment that is safe, supportive, and free from fear. She said, what an irony. This is hypocrisy at the highest level. Remi Tinubu talking about compassion, talking about looking out for one another, saying that that is what leadership is all about. The same woman who told Smart Adeyemi on the floor of the Senate when she was a senator that he should stop standing up to talk about the killings in Nigeria. That is he now a member of the PDP? That if he's complaining about killings, then he should go and join the PDP. In APC, killings are allowed. Now she's talking about bullying. This is the same as when Edo Governor Okpebolo criticized cultism yesterday, and I said a cultist can't speak against cultism, and you expect us to clap. Senator Remi's family are the biggest bullies in Nigeria. They literally introduced a brand of politics that takes away our civility. MC Oluomo and other known thugs in Lagos earned their living from bullying Tinubu's opponents. So, Senator Remi Tinubu, we don't need your counsel against bullying. Go home and talk to the chief bully of Nigeria. The best you can do is just to stop bullying Nigerians, you and your family. Thank you. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that sad update on the outrageous loan began circulating. Look at how the papers reported it. Tinubu seeks another 40 trillion foreign loans as Nigeria's revenue crashes amidst investors' exodus. Bola Tinubu has written to the National Assembly requesting legislative approval for several fresh loans totaling 40.5 trillion naira amidst a worsening economic climate for the country. In 3 separate letters transmitted to the National Assembly on Tuesday and read by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Mr. Tinubu requested the National Assembly's approval for the establishment of a foreign currency denominated issuance program in the domestic debt market. Mr. Tinubu, in the first letter, sought the legislative approval to raise up to $2 billion through the issuance of foreign currency denominated financial instruments in Nigeria's domestic debt market in tandem with a presidential executive order signed in October 2023. Tinubu stated that his request was based on Section 44, subsection 1 and 2 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 and Item 7 of his executive order, which requires National Assembly's approval for all new borrowings and the appropriation of their proceeds. Tinubu noted that the proceeds will be invested in key sectors of the economy to stimulate growth, infrastructure, job creation, and foreign exchange earnings, adding that the strategy was meant to diversify government funding sources, stabilize the naira, and deepen the local financial market. I thought they said they were no longer backing the naira. Mr. Tinubu, in the second request, also unveiled the borrowing plan amounting to $21.5 billion, 2.2 billion euros, 15 billion Japanese yen, and a 65 million euros in grants for the year 2025 to 2026, stating the loans were expected to fund priority projects in key areas of development such as education, health, agriculture, and unemployment. How about all the ones you took before? The multi-currency foreign facility totaled about 40.5 trillion at the prevailing exchange rate of 1,600 naira per dollar. If successful, the latest request would add to a series of foreign loans the administration has procured over the past year. In June 2024, the government borrowed $2.2 billion from the World Bank. Another loan was secured in December 2024. My God, this is so sad for Nigeria. This man will still take this money and he and his cronies will loot it. So far, he has taken 55.2 trillion and we have seen no single impact. No single impact has been felt by the people. Now, he is moving for 40 trillion at once. 40 trillion is almost the entire budget Buhari spent in 8 years. And someone wants to take it in one sitting. And of course, National Assembly will approve it because they have taken their own percentage of that loan. What a calamity. This is why Dele Farotimi is saying that Nigeria is not a country. It's just a geographical expression of people who are not freeborns. Because if we were, by now, the streets should be flooded. People don't feel that this money belongs to us as a country. So they just see anybody there, oh, it is his turn, let him do whatever he wants. But if we feel that this is our nation, these are our resources, then we will not allow a few people to squander it like this. Someone is emptying the treasury like this and Nigerians are just quiet. Nigeria is heading for a kind of economic crisis that even years of doing the right thing won't be able to fix. If this government exceeds 2027, by the time Tinubu will be done, even if you bring in somebody, a president that begins doing the right thing, it will take several years because we would have been seriously indebted. Even the crude oil that we are using to build the nation, a big part of it does not belong to us anymore. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Ayodomi Ikakumi says, that is 184 trillion in total debt. When a clueless thief grabs what is not his, he will squander the proceeds shabbily. Ayo is talking about our total debt there. These ones are not even looking at that. They are looking at the total of what they will have in their own pockets. And Taye Lolu replied Ayo. He said, Babami, this guy is a shame to the entire Yoruba race. We have become a laughing stock to the average Nigerian. He is a colossal failure. Well, you have an opportunity to vote massively against him and defend your votes and get him out of power. He alone cannot destroy the entire race if the race don't accept it. If the race rejects him, they will redeem themselves. And Africa here says some mumus were just patting themselves on the back over what they believed was Nigeria finally paying off its debts. Some of us were just laughing at you and shaking our head because it appears that you Nigerians don't realize you are doomed already in this one Nigeria. Chai. And Denzi here says, just 2 years in, he has surpassed Buhari's 32 trillion. Of course he has. And Prince D here says, he has collected 80 trillion already. And with this 40 trillion, it will be about 120 trillion in just 2 years. Well, Prince, I think he has collected about 55.2 trillion, but you say 80, I'll have to look that up. The figure I have is 55.2 trillion, but it's still bad. 55.2 trillion plus 40 trillion. That's 95.2 trillion in 2 years. Yet no single impact. And Samson here says, them say Tinubu paid 1.4 billion naira COVID-19 IMF loan. He now wants to take $21.5 billion, 2.1 billion euros, 15 billion yens, 65 million euros, and 758 billion naira in bond at once. That is it. I knew this was going to come. I just knew it. But this is the APC. I am not surprised. Nothing they do will ever surprise me, because I know they have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have a country that we can be proud of, and at this point, for us to even have a country at all in the near future, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and get rid of the APC. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now, because of una, na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.